You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
It's time to head south with the Fantha From Down Under. Here are your hosts, Adam O'Brien and Paul Naylor.
Sponsored by Mark Newbold. No, not really. It's sponsored by Fantha Tracks.com. Star Wars news in a single file. Episode number 77. Welcome to the show, folks. I'm Adam O'Brien, of course, the Fantha From Down Under. But I'm not just one. There is now two. There is an amazing man to my right or left, depending on which side of the screen you're on, from across the pond in very cold, -4, and let's just say Home Alone style surroundings, the one and only Paul Naylor. How are you, pal?
Hello, mate. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And as we see in Scotland, Happy Hogmanay.
I'll get my nips and tatties ready to go with me stuffed haggis.
Hoots man, long may your rumleek, yeah, wee bosom.
We were just chatting before the show. What temperatures have you got there, mate?
The daytime was around about 38, 39. It's dropped from, I'm just looking at it now, it's around about 34 still. You can sizzle and cook your eggs outside right now, just on the concrete.
Well, once you've cooked it, you let it cool down, you can put it in the freezer that is the UK at the moment. So we're about -4, -6. We've had a blanket of snow out there, which obviously makes everything look very sort of fresh and crisp. But loads of road closures around here, loads of schools are closed. It's a typical start to January for the good old UK.
You know what? I kind of like the cold, always have. I come from Tasmania. But Tasmania itself is, it's an interesting place to even be in summer, because in summer down there, you can get 30 degrees. Like, we're talking for Americans out there, guys, it's about 105, 110 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So pretty damn bloody warm. That's out on the beaches. But you pack up, put the stuff in the car, put a hot cup of joe, go up into the mountains, Mount Wellington, which look over the entire city and the harbour and all that sort of thing, and it's still snowing. You have a snow crystal. It's not the thickest snow in the world, but it's crystals. And as Mark Newbold would say, it's pretty chill, yeah? Pretty much up that part.
It's very chilly here, mate. Put it this way. I have, as you pointed out, got my Kevin McAllister pyjama set on here. I look like I'm in the Bay City Rollers for our older fans out there. You don't even know who they are, do you, mate? The Bay City Rollers.
Bay City Rollers, I know.
So I'm in full tartan regalia here. So it's actually quite good and fortunate for you, mate, that it is this cold, because I don't normally wear nothing in bed. So I could have been sat here as naked as the day I was born recording this. Put it this way, let's go with the tartan.
Well, it's a Scottish way of doing things. And I tell you what, folks, it's even colder in John O'Groats in Scotland. You get up there, up the top there, and you know what happens when you open up the door? A gush of wind hits you and you go...
Was that from an expat from South Africa?
Yes, my friend. Welcome to the land.
I have given this haggis diplomatic immunity.
Oh, it's crazy. When I look at the weather, we're obviously on different sides of the planet, but it's interesting. Like it still boggles the mind that we can be cold on one side, hot on the other, and then vice versa. Mind you, here in the Gold Coast, we don't get a cold winter. We get a very tropical winter. So we're still going outside, t-shirts, singlets, board shorts, sometimes long pants. I mean, we have to for work, obviously, but I'd love to work at boardies. That'd be fun. but everyone wearing flip-flops. I mean, that's what you wear. It's crazy.
You've got to be careful with them flip-flops, because some parts of the world, they call them thongs, don't they? So, if somebody says, just turn up in your thong, you could get yourself into quite a heap of trouble there,
Oh, it could well be. This is one of the things I was looking at too. It's like the different words that we all say too. Americans have a very similar words. It's the same language, but the meanings can be slightly different, like if they say they fall on their fanny, well, I'm sorry, that's a little bit different out here in Australia. I won't say what it is, but let's just say you look a bit funny if you said you fell on that.
So you go, well, pardon me, madam.
Right. Good. Oh, they're all going today. They all get it. I got to tell you, one day we'll get to Star Wars, folks. I promise, I really do. So on tonight's episode, Paul and I are going to be knocking out the 77th episode. So 77's got an interesting connotation.
Yes.
We'll talk about this in the news soon too, because there's some really good news when it comes to the original film. So we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
Obviously, too, latest happenings. We'll talk about what's happening, obviously, in your neck of the woods and mine. And also, we'll cover some great stuff with the latest streaming and upcoming films. There's some updates to that material. Some spoilery, some not. Let's just say it's pretty cool news. First of all, Paul, a little bit of a flashback review of 2025. Tell us what was your favorite parts,
You kind of touched on it there, really. It was the announcement that Star Wars is coming back to theatres on general release in its original form.
So
as
good.
near as it can be. I mean, obviously, if they released it with the limited sound quality that they had back then it wouldn't be quite as good as it could be. So what they're going to do is, I believe that they are tweaking the sound. But the fact that we're going to get Star Wars before it had A New Hope in the crawl, without the addition of Jabba and all the other little bits and bobs that were added for the special editions, and then subsequently tweaked again and again and again. For me, that's amazing. I'm a bit older than you, mate, so I do remember seeing Star Wars in theatres back when I was 7 years old. So it would have been, in the UK, we didn't get it on general release until the beginning of 78. And I think I saw it in February. Similar conditions to what we've got out there at the moment, a bit of snow on the ground. And I can actually remember queuing up with my folks to go and see it. The queue wrapped around this flea pit of a cinema that was in one of these little suburban towns. And I don't really remember much about watching the film, but more about the feeling that I got from watching it. I came out of there, and that's all I wanted to do was reenact scenes from Star Wars with my mates. The comic came out not long after I saw it, or around the same time. And then the action figures, of course. And I mean, it just became everything to me. For the next goodness knows how many years, everything I wanted for birthdays and Christmas was Star Wars related. I suppose, really, it'll be like any 7 or 8 year old, whatever point they come into Star Wars, that will be the thing that will always be their connection to the saga. Yeah, it was a magical time. And so the fact that they announced last year that Star Wars in its original form for its 50th anniversary, I mean, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? It was 50 years ago. Wasn't it?
It doesn't feel it, does it? Does not feel 50 years.
I mean, you watch it now and it stands the test of time. It really does. I mean, okay, there's a sideburn here and a floppy hair there, but other than that, it could have been filmed in the last 5 or 10 years. Yes, it will be great to see the original cut. But some of the changes that George made in 97 for its 20th anniversary. But yeah, I mean, in some ways, as well as celebrating Star Wars' 50th anniversary, they also should celebrate the release of the special edition's 30th anniversary.
100% they should, yeah.
Yeah, because for many people, certainly there's a friend of mine, Jonathan, fellow Fantha.
Hi, John.
He would have been about 7 or 8 when the special editions... Maybe 7 or 8 when the Phantom Menace released a couple of years after that. So for him, the prequel trilogy is massive. So the same connection that I've got through the original trilogy, John has through the prequels. So yeah, it's brilliant. I just love the fact that that's coming back. Other things that I was thrilled about was I didn't get over to Japan for Celebration, but when they announced Starfighter, and then they obviously got Mr. Levy out onto the stage. What's the actor that's playing the lead in that?
Gosling.
It's me old age, mate. I forget things. When they brought them out on the stage, I was watching it obviously on the live stream. I thought, yeah, now this sounds interesting. There's a bit of information out there about film. It's certainly wrapped filming, but I'm looking forward to that way more than I'm looking forward to Mando and Grogu.
Same. And folks, we will cover a little bit more news on both, just to give you a little bit more update where we are right now. Obviously, we're talking about letting know about these things. Things that are actually going to happen, not sit on a shelf and not harp on about Acolyte being amazing and we need another season. They didn't give us a chance, but they don't understand Kiri Mundi.
Yeah, that was weird.
But the Sith have been extinct for a millennium. Did I really say that? Oh my God.
That would explain the head. A very bad injury. That was a weird show.
I will give it to the people that created the sets, the uniforms, the outfits, the character design. All that's great. But the story is absolute rubbish. I like the idea of a Sith continuation and all that. Yeah, I'm all for that. they did well with the character. The stranger, that was a great idea. The Cortosis armor and all that, great. But it's just the whole detective sort of angle, chosen one before Anakin. That's a real big, strong bird given to George. And then George will just go, yeah, that show's going to do well.
I think for me, the biggest problem that show had was it jumped all over the place. It didn't run linear. So characters that were killed in the first episode suddenly turn up 4 episodes later, and I'm going, hang on, I'm trying to get my head around what's happening here. That worked in the Book of Boba Fett, where they had the 2 parallel stories, where the Tusken Raiders, and then after he'd been into back to tank and all that. So that worked. I quite like Book of Boba Fett. It's not as bad as people make it.
Yes, I like that. It's good.
Yeah. But the Acolyte, I mean, I don't know whether you have the same phrase over in Australia, cack, which basically means poodoo. So I call it the
Cackalote. We have something a bit more choice to say, but it's not so. Yeah, it is. I will say that much. Obviously, they tried to do something new. I'll give them that.
Yeah. Going back to your initial question regarding 2025, obviously a standout thing would be Andor Season 2, which was absolutely phenomenal. And not forgetting as well, we did have the tail end of Skeleton Crew. We had the last 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew were released at the very beginning of 2025. I enjoyed Skeleton Crew. It was a nice little Goonies type show. Very, very cool. And Jude Law was great in it, because that was quite a complex character to try and do. And so, it was enjoyable. But for me, I mean, Andor is another level anyway. I mean, that is proper grown-up Star Wars, which benefits from the fact that it's only really got a very fine veneer of Star Wars to it. It could be any show, really, just with a couple of TIE fighters chucked in every now and then, and some stormtroopers, but nailed the ending on that one. But the fact that we then got Baby Andor, that was brilliant. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So
it's a real nice touch to it, how they brought that together, and it's I think out of all of the prequel-ish stuff they've done, this is on a par, if not better, with what George came up with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it goes to show the quality of Rogue One as well, because they've got a fantastic source material to lead into. It also helped that Diego Luna seems to be frozen in time. I mean, it didn't look like, hang on, he looks too old to do this. It worked. No. It still worked. Maybe they put some Vaseline on the lens. I don't know. He was outstanding in Andor. 2025, it wasn't a massive vintage year for Star Wars, but there was some good stuff in there.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video, and social media feeds. Bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
What were your highlights?
Star Wars wise, I knew what I was expecting with Andor and stuff like that too, but it was not the streaming shows, films, or anything like that. Apart from, I did rewatch the 4Ks of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. I was quite surprised with the cleanup, and I dare say they've done more tweaks. It feels like they have, but I can't even remember.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I'd watched the original trilogy. Actually, I'd watched the prequels more recently, but anyway, I watched it in the usual sequence, and then maybe 3 months later I did the machete sequence, which is the episode 1, episode 2, then you go back and do the entire original trilogy, and then you do Revenge of the Sith,
right?
Because you see what happened, why he fell, all that sort of stuff. It's an interesting sort of view of it, but the quality of what they've done is really interesting, which brings us to my thoughts on them bringing back the originals. Now, when I moved early 2025, or was it 2024, was halfway through, I hadn't really watched the originals in their proper old setting in a while, and I've got them on VHS, largely untouched. It's still good quality, probably better than Laserdisc, I personally think. And chucked it on LCD, and it's just nice to see movies that weren't messed around with. George, I love you, but that's the movies we loved. That's the movies we grew up with. And going back and seeing everything like that was the one thing. But I had a weird conversation with a mate of mine. He's an American-Australian fella by the name of Aaron. And Aaron, he and I grew up in the same area in Brisbane years ago. And he was always the one who goes, I swear I've seen that before. I swear Star Wars, bro. No. Adam, mate. That's always his thing. He always said, no, Adam, mate. And he always say, I've seen it in a Jackie Chan film. I'm going, no, you haven't. What are you talking about? He said, I swear they, over in Hong Kong, copied the movie, or at least scenes of, in one of his early Kung Fu films. And for years, he was telling me that. I actually got a box set of his early films. So this is the Steak Eater, or whatever he calls it, with the funny hands, and the Drunken Master, which is probably the best one. That's actually directed by the guy that did the Matrix trilogy and all the moves and Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, all that sort of stuff. What was great was I'm watching this thing, and all of a sudden, John Williams music kicks in, and you can tell it's been put on an LP player, a record player. You can hear the tune. So I go like this, and it starts playing the Force theme. And there's Jackie Chan and 3 or 4 other warriors, Jung-Hu warriors, going up to take out the bag. It was in, I believe, Fearless Hyena. And he's like, I'm going to fight you now. Make sure you, and you blah, 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 you know. And all of a sudden, they're standing here and they go, pew, 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 pew. You know how they do with their... It's like they've been flying around on rubber bands, I swear. And eventually they punch once and then they go pew, 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 like ping pong balls. But I remember he ripped off that thing. So then I got the Blu-ray of Fearless Hyena maybe 12 months ago. Watched it again. It's conveniently removed of the original audio. I had to look it up. It's been kept very quiet. Yes, they pinched the audio. So it's funny how you see these things sort of pop up here and again. But that's the thing. It's movies where things were limited, and Star Wars was one of those movies. It was low budget, and I can't wait to see that in a better form, cleaned up.
Yeah.
They're going to put that out and make a ton. They're going to make more money on the releases when they finally go to 4K. They'll go streaming, obviously, but they're going to have to do 4K because people still will buy those when they drop them out with the Disney discs or whatever it is. You're going to make more money. Any of those bloody releases they've done on any of their little Mandalorians and all that sort of stuff, Yeah. They've always gone in with the right intent, I personally think, but there's too many cooks in the kitchen going, I have an idea. Maybe if, and then, you put 20 of those in a room, it's going to happen, and that's why they've not been as successful.
As they've done in the past, they'll release it at Star Wars at the cinema, but will they then release it on Blu-ray? And I think they will this time because it's such a significant anniversary. Brian and Mark from Fantha Tracks went along to London a few months back for the British Film Institute release of Star Wars. And I believe Kathleen Kennedy came out and had a chat. And they said it was interesting seeing the original cut. Now, that I don't think is going to be exactly the same that we get. I think ours is going to be tidied up a little bit. Like I said before, enhanced sound and whatever. They were like school kids going to see it like that. Just to see that opening crawl bit where it doesn't say A New Hope, you just know that, wow, we're seeing history here, guys. And that's what it's going to be like for us in 2027.
Oh, exactly right. I remember when the 40th, it only feels like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, folks. What the hell? What the hell happened? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is.
Oh, folks, would you listen to that? Looks like we're going to cross live down the street here in Birmingham. We've got a busker who's actually recording just for us a little something for a dear friend. Here we go.
Oh, it's pretty balmy over there, and I've got a little ode to it. Strapping on the 6 string. Here we go. I live in Birmingham. It's pretty balmy here. Just like when they play the cricket right now. There is many Fanthas there. One is quite bolder now. He makes treks and tracks. And he is the tallest there, all the way in Birmingham. He likes all the cool stuff and the Comic-Con. They call him Mark Newbold, one of those Fantha Tracks. He's pretty bold right now.
Hi, this is Andy Seacombe, otherwise known as Watto, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
Thank you, Alan. Alan, was it? Thanks, buddy.
Can I point out that wasn't the most authentic Birmingham accent I've ever heard? Forgive me, UK listeners, but Birmingham sounds more like that.
He more like this here in Birmingham.
I thought maybe you were from Birmingham, Alabama.
We have him calling in right now. Fantha from Down Under with Paul and Adam, the Fantha from Down Under. Hey guys, how you doing? Cup of tea and twinings, yeah? And make sure you got yourself some fish and chips ready to go so we can watch this wonderful show now. Episode number 244 is out of Making Tracks with the two Marks, and that's coming out very, very soon if you haven't watched it already, and that will be great to watch. Of course, this is Mark Newbold signing off. Oh, thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. That was brilliant. I will be asking Mark later on what are fish and chops. I'm sat here eating fish and chops and mushy tea.
You also check out another show that Paul does quite often, and it's great because I chime in on the little comments there. Of course, there's Good Morning Tatooine. Tell us about that show.
Good Morning Tatooine is broadcast live. and trust me, you can tell. But no, each week, me and my old mate Brian Cameron, who lives right at the tip of Scotland, so he's hundreds of miles away from where I am. Each week we get together online and we chat about what's going on in Star Wars, and we take a bit of a deep dive and look into stuff that's gone on in the past. It's just a bit of light-hearted banter. It's a bit like this, but not quite as mental. Put it this way. If you enjoy this, you'll enjoy that. Think of Good Morning Tatooine as a crisp white T-shirt, and think of the Fantha Down Under as a crazy tie-dye T-shirt. You've probably got them. You've got them in your head now. You know what you're working with. Go and enjoy both. Mind
explosion. I tell you, folks, it's crazy. You can check us out also, of course, on the other network, which we're taking a little bit of a break from for the next couple of months, but it's definitely there for you to check out. Lethal Mullet. That is on the Fandom Podcast Network, which, of course, Paul's going to be joining us on. A great episode looking at Monty Python's The Holy Grail.
When you told me that I was going to be on there, I actually went out of my way and paid for a copy of it online because I couldn't find it free, and I've rewatched it.
It gives you stitches, doesn't it? Honestly, those guys are the smartest dudes on the planet.
It's brilliant. I mean, yeah.
And they'd never had any, like, was it the Holy Hand Grenade? What's your name? My name is Tim. Cracker of an episode, but
we'll do that.
Check us out, obviously, on all socials at The Lethal Mullet. And Paul, what about yourself? Where we can catch you on the socials?
You can catch us on Fantha Tracks Radio. That covers pretty much every bit of output that we do at Fantha Tracks. Fanthatracks.com. If you can't remember any of this, just go straight to Fanthatracks.com. You'll find it all on there. There's 7 different audio shows that are out there now on a rotation, including Fantha From Down Under. Good Morning Tatooine is our visual output at the moment. We're going the other way. So what we're doing is, as well as having the visual version, we're going to have a podcast version of it go out as well. So when you watch some shows coming up, they might be a little bit more audio description, bearing in mind some of the things that we'll be looking at on the screen might need a little bit of help for the audio versions. Like you're doubling down, we're going to be doing the same with Morning Tatooine. And I love it. It's just a crazy way to end a Sunday night here. I mean, when we're broadcasting at 9 p.m.
That's crazy. You always think it's like morning, but I mean, it's morning my time at work. The guys are in there. I've got to give them a stir up. I'll do dad jokes on there. And you can see Brian going, oh, no.
So when we're going out live, what time of day are you on? Because
it's probably about 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., depending on who it is.
So you do get good morning, Tatooine. You do.
It's proper morning. Good morning, Tatooine.
Well, that's all we have time for here tonight on the Fantha From Down Under. And we'll catch you next time. Same place, same channel, and of course, with more Star Wars news in a single file from FanthaTracks.com's Australian edition. That's right, we'll catch you next time. So, until then, may the Force be with you, and enjoy your Star Wars fandom. We'll see you next time. Warning, no Tauntauns were harmed in the filming and recording of this podcast.
I'll see you in episode 78.
Coming up next on Fantha Tracks Radio, it's Making Tracks.